Cain and Abel. It all started at the beginning of human history. Now, the man, Adam, was having marital intercourse with his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and had Cain. She had just created a man just like the Lord did. Genesis 4. Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. You might think that sin will get worse with each new generation. The descendants of Adam and Eve telling tiny white lies, possibly minor thievery by the third generation, extortion and racketeering by the fifth generation, and possibly slaying by the sixth generation. However, the reality is quite different. This demonstrates that corruption has no bounds. It does not emerge gradually, as unnoticed deterioration does. It should come as no surprise that the first sins were among the most heinous because humanity has been completely perverted. Cain was enraged and vented his rage on Abel, despite the fact that the younger brother had done nothing wrong. Cain may be angry at the Lord for rejecting his contribution. He might be disappointed in himself for not offering sacrifices that he knew God would accept. But what about Abel? What more had he done besides what was right? Now is an ideal time to stop and undertake some self-analysis, as well as to establish an important truth. If you start to feel jealous, take a moment to reflect. Your rage is most certainly directed at the incorrect person. On the one side, you may be the victim of an injustice, or be in a scenario where someone is getting what is due to you. A natural response would be to resent the other guy, even though he did nothing wrong. What was the point of Cain killing Abel when his hatred was directed towards God? This leads us to another indisputable fact. Doing wrong puts a person at odds with himself. Don't overlook God's advice to Cain. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why is your expression downcast? Is it not true that if you do what is right, you will be fine? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at the door. It desires to dominate you, but you must suppress it." Genesis 4, 6-7. Cain was addressed by the Lord like any good father would approach a child. He effectively told Cain, "If you do wrong, it is your fault. No one else is to blame. Cain, if you do the right thing, your face will follow." Obedience comes first, then emotions. One man put it this way: Cain began badly by presenting a sinful offering before God. Abel gave God the best, whereas Cain merely brought an offering. When God rejected his offering, Cain complicated the problem by responding wrongly to the rejection. The anger and depression were noted by God, who observed that this was a wrong response. Instead, God in a way advises, "Do what is right, and you will feel right." Then God advised against failing to repent and make the proper sacrifice. You will fall into further transgression if you continue to complicate the matter with this wicked response. As one translation reads, if you misbehave, into the clutches of sin, which is like a wild animal. What was the point of Cain slaying Abel when his hatred was directed towards God? Unfortunately, Cain ignored God's paternal guidance. Not unexpectedly, his animosity spread like wildfire. Let us not forget, before we cluck our tongues and shake our heads, that the same deadly heart that Cain acquired from the fall beats within each of us. Sin crouches at your and my doors, just as it did at Cain's. Look into your past.